I just finished step one of restoring my deck project. As you can see, it's brown. If you saw the last video or photos, it was pretty gray both from aging, from UV, and also from the mildew and mold that gets baked on black. It's been about 2 weeks since I finished the actual deck, and there's a little bit of graying from the UV right now, but that'll be taken care of by step 2. I'll just walk around here, get a gander at everything. Now the products that I used to clean it, to bleach it, I used, instead of using a chlorine bleach which destroys the lignins, I used an oxygen bleach. I started out with this Restore deck that you can order online. It's not cheap. It has, I believe, sodium percarbonate, and I made about 20 gallons of that, but I wasted a lot because I would dip my brush into it and then bring it out and drip a lot and waste a lot. And I used about 20 gallons of this stuff, and then when I ran out of that, I used this Thompson's Water Seal Oxy Forming Action, which I got at Home Depot. This makes 5 gallons, this makes 5 gallons. It's a little cheaper, and it worked well. They both worked well. It's just that with as much damage as I had, the main thing you have to do is you just have to use a lot of scrubbing. I applied it, at least on the deck, with this sponge applicator, and then on the deck itself I used this to scrub. But it really didn't do, it was fine for getting off the worst, but to really do a good job, I had to use this, which has some pretty tough bristles, and get down there and get to know each board on the deck. Then on the railings, I tended to use this for the most part. The next step number 2, will both lower the pH of the deck and brighten it. Turn it more of a natural white, lighter color. And I've got 4 bottles of this, which will make 20 gallons. Probably won't need it all because I won't be wasting it scrubbing over and over and over again. One application should do it. But if I wait too long and actually working on the deck, which is going to be probably my last stop, I'm gonna start with the railings, and then do my staining, and then eventually work on the deck. If the time between my first application of step number 2 and the actual staining of the deck is too long, it's probably going to gray from UV again. As you can see, it's already grayed a little bit. What I'll be using as a stain is the one-time stain. The only place that I know of to get it locally is from McDaniel's do-it-yourself hardware in Snohomish. At least that's the closest place here. You can get it, I think, at a hardware store in Kingston, and maybe down in Tacoma as well. But that's supposed to last for 7 years. At least it's supposed to protect the wood from mildew for 7 years. After about 5 years, some of the color will be lost, so it's a good idea to reapply it after about every 5 years. But everything else I've seen just doesn't last as long as the one time, at least from what I've been able to research. So I'm going to start with step number 2 today. Over and out.